Hey guys, it's Billbox here, and welcome back to another episode of Aviassembly, where today we have a brand new update to check out, folks. That's right, this game has received its second major update since release, and I am so happy to be checking it out here with you guys. So we're going to go right into it here. We're going to go on a sandbox world, not on our normal world, and on a flat world to start with, and we're going to start a game with infinite fuel. And here we are. So we haven't seen any changes to the fuselages and all that. However, there are some new features as well as a huge overhaul or not really an overhaul, but a change in how the decal system works. So really quickly here, let's pull out, I don't know which fuselage we're going to use. Probably just, I'm thinking here. We need an aerodynamic. Let's do this one. And let's get a fuselage back on it. So there's been another huge change besides the whole new engines that they're adding, which there are some new engines we're going to check out really quick here, is the fact that if we come back here to the fuselages, if you remember before when we were resizing these down, it would only go to like that small, right? It wouldn't go very small. There'd be this big object at the end, but now look how small we can make this point. That'll make certain builds that rely on these points on the front of their plane to be way more aerodynamic, which is such a nice feature because I feel like it needed that before. All right, there we go. We got a body. No changes really to the wings at all, so let's just put I don't know what, a big delta wing on there and get some smaller ones on the back. Just a little. Oh, I don't have mirror on. Yeah, it's been a hot minute since I played this game, and by a hot minute I mean like a week and a half now, almost 2 weeks. All right, there we go. And let's get a delta wing on the back, and there we go. That looks kind of hideous. So let's move this back just a little bit. There we go. Okay, and we're going to tab over to the engines here where we have some brand new ones to check out, people. And actually, really quick, I am going to... Oh, that's going to look hideous, but I don't care. I am going to put on 2 fuselages to the sides, which, by the way, it looks like the default fuselage has gotten larger, in my opinion. I'm not entirely sure. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do this. Let's go to the engines. So here we go. We have a ramjet engine, and this has an afterburner on it. So pretty much what it'll do is after you get 80%, if you go past 80% on the throttle, it will engage an afterburner. But the afterburner is going to consume a ridiculous amount of fuel, more than what the engine already consumes, which this engine consumes 9 fuel consumption. I don't know if that means with the afterburner or without the afterburner enabled. But just compare that to the rocket engine. Oh, well, the rocket engine actually is 12, so that's not that bad. It is actually consumes less fuel than the turbojet. And the turbojet does also have an afterburner now, so we'll have to check that out. Let's check that out first, because this is an engine that's already been in the game for a while. Let's just do a setup like that. I do want to see this whole afterburner system. We also have a tiny retractable wheel, supposedly. This thing right here. So now we have little retractable wheels for our rears, which is so nice because we only had the big ones that were retractable before, and it was kind of annoying. So that is a nice feature to have, and we'll rotate it around, and we'll get some bigger ones up front here. There we go. Now you can actually build a plane with the big wheels under the wing and the rear wheel without shoving it into the fuselage. All right, let's give this a spawn here. And look at this. Space to throttle up. And yes, you can see on our throttle, if you look down here, there's a little red section, and that pretty much is going to be our afterburner when our afterburner engages. So let's just get up to there. I don't think we're ready yet. How do I go control? Yeah. So here we are. This is what it is without the afterburner. So what happens then when we engage the afterburner? Oh my goodness. That both sounds and just looks amazing. Now keep in mind, when you have ramjets, the afterburner enabled, it is going to consume a lot more fuel. Like a lot more fuel. So just keep that in mind whenever you're building anything. So I wonder how much of a boost this gives, because if you remember not that long ago, we did a speed test on trying to see how fast we could break the speed or how fast we could possibly go and see if we could break the speed record. So I wonder if this gives any bonus boost output or something. I don't know. I'd have to look more at the patch notes, but it is just pretty darn cool. Just keep in mind, it will use a lot more fuel. All right, the moment everyone's been waiting for. the ramjet engine. It weighs weighs more than the turbojet. It generates a lot more thrust. It has less fuel consumption than the turbojet. Same electricity generation, and it has the afterburner. Holy, these things are massive. These things are massive, but they look so cool. Hold on, I gotta put them up here. I just gotta. That just looks so cool. It just looks so cool. All right, let's get a... Oh my goodness. Okay, I accidentally engaged the afterburner right from the bat. So this is what they look like without the afterburner. You can see a little bit of orange in there. So it feels kind of like the jet engine, maybe just a little bit faster. Definitely has more thrust. It's definitely noticeable. However, the afterburner is just such a cool feature. And I feel like that gave me both a thrust and a speed boost. I'm not entirely sure, but that's what it feels like. Okay, that is pretty cool. Pretty cool. And the engine model is just so good. The engine model is so good, it just feels so good. Now, supposedly, if we go back to our base here, I don't know exactly where it is. Here it is. So we have actual placeable air intakes now. Now, these are things that don't actually do anything. They are simply cosmetic. So say if you were building a plane with like a Concorde or something, but you wanted the air intakes, but you didn't want to have to put the jet engines or something, you can now properly put an air intake on your plane to make it look more realistic, which that is just such a neat feature. No new stuff for electricity. Wheels, we got the small retractable wheel, as I've shown you we have on now. So most of it's just been in the engines and there. However, let's take a look at the lettering system and all that. Oh yeah, this is something the game needed. We could just spam it everywhere. So that is what's going on here. Now, another big thing that's been added is actual custom colors. So now you are no longer limited to just the colors on this little picker here. You now can completely customize the color. So say I wanted like a weird pink color or something. I could do that. That's not on the color roster at all. Say I wanted a very vibrant red. That is now possible. And decals are also colorable now, which is just so cool. And that's just what's going on there. And obviously you got more decals. The decals are supposed to work a lot better and just feel nicer. So here we go. I want to quickly do a speed test because yes, build box, yes. Let's do the ramjet. I want to know how this is going to compare to in top speed to the jet engine. So what we're going to do, 2 ramjets and 2 of the normal jet engines. Drag wise, looks pretty darn good. We are going to need a wheel to get off the ground. I'm going to do the same with all the engines and everything. Just 2 engines, and then these 2 wheels should get us off the ground. All right, leave down in the comments below what you think our top speed is going to be, and let's take off here. And I'm going to engage, just engage the afterburner right away. I want to get a maximum speed test here. And wowzers, we are fast. Wow, we are fast. Why does this feel so fast? I mean, we're cooking 8, going towards 9K now. We're going to easily break 10, I think. Maybe 15 as well. Okay, and here we are about 30 seconds later. I think we're going to call this at 17.5. I don't really want to spend another minute and a half waiting for it to get up to 18,000 if it does. So I'm pulling the test, saying it's going to get to 17.5. I think that's a very reasonable number, or maybe actually not even that much. You know what, actually? I'm going to say 17,250 is going to be the maximum. 17,250 is the maximum. So let's see if we can beat that with the jet engines. So let's pull both these off. Let's get our normal jet engines. Again, we're going to do the same thing. I know that this is not going to be exactly fair because it did list a difference in thrust. So the new ramjet does have more thrust than this current jet engine does. So just keep that in mind, that this is not a 100% fair test. However, I want to see the difference in speed. All right. And it's just the same. It's the same with having any new engine. And with the afterburner on the jet engine, even the jet engine feels fast. I don't know what it is about the jet engine in this game, but it is better than the rocket engine. It's better than every other engine, and it's not even the best engine in the game, supposedly. So, take from that what you will. However, we're already past 10K. My goodness, this is plowing past. We might, just with these two, we might be able to beat our record here. Wow. Yeah, so this is way faster. So the normal jet engines are still on top. They are still the kings of this game. I don't know what the research is going to look like. We're going to have a look at the research when we get back. Oh yeah, these two will break 20,000. Pretty sure these two will break 20,000. So it's not even just worth even sitting there. Research, so to get the ramjet is actually after the jet engine, which is so weird because the jet engine is so much better. Now, it does consume less fuel than the jet engine does. And maybe that's what it has going for it. Is it consumes just a little bit less fuel. But it weighs more. The thrust is a little more. I give it that. The thrust is a little bit more and it consumes less fuel. It's just that the top speed and the acceleration of the turbojet is still unmatched. Absolutely still unmatched. So we got that going for it here. And pretty much the retractable engine is going to be around in the middle. So you could probably unlock it early to mid game here. And then you, I think, already unlock all the decorative pieces for making intake systems and all that. The ramjet is near an endgame item as well. And then the prop fan, which I didn't discuss it last time, is kind of a middle tier item as well. So that's what we got going on here, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this little short Aviassembly update video. And I will catch you guys all in the next one. Whoop!